This episode of Destructoid is brought to you by Jack Threads. Coming up on Destructoid, its rage is finally upon us. Mass Effect 3 might have some multiplayer, and we've got your releases of the week for October 3rd. All this and more heading your way on Destructoid. Welcome to Destructoid. That's Max Scoville.
That's Tara Long.
Haha, see what I did there? We reversed them. We did it. It's Monday. I'm sorry, you guys. You can't expect much from us. But we do have good stuff for you coming today. On the second half of the show, we've got a Rage review plus our impressions. Jim Sterling sent us an actual video review type thing. So we're going to do that. But first, since it's Monday, why don't we go over the releases of this week?
That. Now, Tuesday obviously sees a few big games, and there's Rage, obviously. We're going to talk about that. That comes out tonight at midnight for 360, PS3, and PC. Another big release is Dark Souls, which is the follow-up to 2009's PS3 exclusive Demon's Souls. Now, Dark Souls is going to be in both PS3 and 360, and promises to get medieval on everyone's asses repeatedly. Payday the Heist hits PSN and PC this week. Tara and I played it at E3 and we loved it. Think Left 4 Dead, but with cops and robbers instead of zombies. That's only $20, so it's probably worth checking out. Spider-Man Edge of Time hits PS3, 360, Wii, DS, and 3DS in varying incarnations that share the same premise. Amazing Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2099 are forced to work together through a time warp or a time hole or something about time. In any case, that's 2 Spider-Men for the price of 1. Crysis also hits XBLA and PSN for the first time ever. The game might be 3 years old, but it looks incredible, and it's only $20, so there's that. Now, finally, we've got
that's NBA 2K12, Max. Those are 2s, Nazis. Just sound it out. Just sound it out.
I thought it was Leet.
It's okay. It's
I thought it was Leet speak.
Yep, there may not be an NBA season this year, but that won't stop 2K from releasing NBA 2K12 into the wild this Tuesday. If you have a disgusting sports fetish like our producer Zach Miner, you can pick this game up for $60 on PS3 and 360, and you will play sports.
I like my version better.
Yeah, your version was wrong, Max. Also coming to Xbox this Wednesday is Orcs Must Die, a very fun third-person shooter take on the tower defense genre. Robot Entertainment put an interactive demo up on YouTube that shows off some of the traps and weapons you can use to defend your rift against the waves of oncoming orcs, which includes stuff like spike traps that stab them from below, or spring traps that send them pummeling into pools of acid, which is really fun to watch, and some good old-fashioned crossbow and melee combat. No price on that yet, but expect to see a PC version out a week after the XBLA release. That is a downloadable title, just make sure you know that. Last but not least, Just Dance 3 heads to the Wii, PS3, and 360 this week, and features such hit 2001 singles as Something Stupid by Robbie Williams and Nicole Kidman. If you've never heard that song before, you're doing something right. Just Dance 3 is priced at $40, and you can pick that up this week.
I have this theory that Robbie Williams is Morrissey's evil brother, and that they're trying to kill each other with pop songs. Also, did you see Katy Perry in that video?
I did not,
She's my girlfriend.
Yeah. Robbie Williams is weird, but I have to say, his video for Rock DJ was pretty cool.
So he turned into a skeleton.
It was a good one. So aside from Rage, which we're going to talk about later, if you had to pick one of these new releases up, which would you pick?
Dark Souls.
Okay.
I think that might surprise some people because I'm scared of it. I think it looks gorgeous. It would probably kill me. I mean, when I play it, it's going to kill me repeatedly. I just think it looks fantastic, and I like the monsters. And I like the swords. It's great.
Yeah.
Someone told me that if you betray the Witches Guild or something, eggs start growing in your head. That's fucking weird.
That sounds cool. I would have to say that my pick, I'm going to go with downloadable titles this week. That's going to be my theme. If you've got PS3, I would recommend Payday the Heist because it's really fun. And if you've got XBLA, then I would say Orcs Must Die is probably going to be in the $10 to $15 range, and I'm sure it'll be worth it. So if you guys actually head on over to our Facebook page at facebook.com/DTOID SHOW, we've got a poll for this week's Releases of the Week going on, asking people what they would pick up if they could just choose one thing. So go interact with us.
Do that.
Because we like
push
seeing
the buttons.
Things on.
Tell us the
we
things.
spend way too much time on Facebook as it is. So.
Now, PlayStation just wrapped up their Play program, which saw the release of a pile of cool downloadable games. And tomorrow they're starting their new Only on PlayStation Network program, which promises to offer even more fun and cheap games, even if it does have a really, really boring name.
Yeah, I guess it's descriptive, but...
yeah. Anyway, this week sees the release of Euphoria, which looks like a cross between insanely twisted Shadow Planet and Flower, but with sort of an RTS spin. Then, of course, there's Rochard, or Rochard, which is a fun little platformer with an emphasis on manipulating gravity. It also features the voice of none other than John St. John, Duke Nukem himself. I don't think he does the voice, though. It's a different voice. Anyway, in addition to these new games coming through on the only on PSN thing, Sony is also putting up some classics from the PS2 era. Now, confirmed titles so far are God Hand, Grim Grimoire, Maximo Ghost to Glory, Odin's Sphere, and Ring of Red. You know, so now when your friends ask you why you're not playing your Xbox, you can say, because my PS3 has Ring of Red. And it's like, because the Xbox hit the red. And jokes. Then your friends won't hang out with you because that's a terrible joke.
Yeah, they really won't.
But yeah, the older games are going to be priced at $10 a pop, which is pretty fair, even if they're not super fancy HD re-releases. And honestly, it looks like Sony's really making a push on that downloadable game front. Oh, yeah. And we'll have more on their releases in the next few weeks, and we'll keep you posted on that. But I like what they're showing us. So far.
I don't blame them. You know, XBLA is so good. Yeah. It really is. They've got a lot of competition. But anyway, moving on. I've got some kind of disturbing news, maybe? Can you call it that? Looks like online passes in video games are starting to become the norm. I've pretty much avoided them up until now, but you may remember that Resistance 3, it required players to redeem a code in order to access the game's multiplayer content. Looks like Uncharted 3 is going to be doing the exact same thing when it launches on November 1st. According to Sony, this is all just part of their effort to tackle piracy, which has clearly been a wild success up until now. And if you think you're safe from this just because you don't like Uncharted, think again. A South African magazine recently published an ad for the collector's edition of Mass Effect 3 and may have accidentally revealed that the game has an online multiplayer mode. A multiplayer mode which will, of course, require an online pass. We have no idea if this is actually a foreshadowing of things to come or if it's just maybe a simple error on the part of the magazine, but Eurogamer actually spoke with Ray Muzica, the co-founder of BioWare, back in June, and he said then that BioWare was, quote, exploring multiplayer in all our games and all of our franchises. So there you have it. Mass Effect 3 may have multiplayer and online passes suck. Quite the day for news, isn't it, Max?
Oh no, Tara. Not at all. Not at all.
Oh?
Let's take a word from our sponsor.
Oh, okay.
Paying full price for clothes isn't just regular dumb, it's super dumb. So if you love alternative apparel brands like Kid Robot, Hurley, and Stussy, but hate wasting all your cash on them, listen up right now. You can score these premium brands at up to 80% off every day. There's a new super top secret invite-only shopping club just for gentlemen called Jack Threads, and they serve up the hottest street, skate, and surfwear brands at prices that will melt your icy heart and make your brain feel awesome. Now, normally there's a wait list to join, but you get to cut in line because you watch the DTOID Show. All you've got to do is head over to jackthreads.com/destruct, and you will get instant access to all the freshest styles in the zazziest of garbs. So go do that now.
All right, we're back, and with us we've got a review for Rage from Destructoid's Jim Sterling. We're going to show that to you now, and then we're going to be back with our impressions afterwards. So roll it, Josh.
id Software is the undeniable godfather of the first-person shooter, and any gamer who has a history with the genre will be able to tell you just how much the likes of Wolfenstein, Doom, and Quake stand up today. Well, it's been a while since it had something all new for us, and it hopes to make a triumphant new FPS darling with its latest title, Rage. Rage is set in a post-apocalyptic wasteland ruled by bandits and mutants. You wake up in an ark having been cryogenically frozen before a meteor smashed into the planet. As you awake, you find yourself caught in a struggle between human settlers, deranged tribes, and a high-tech ruling faction known quite originally as the Authority. Taking a visual style that closely resembles Borderlands, a premise cribbed from Fallout, and even an inventory looting system reminiscent of Bioshock, Rage has a style to it that feels somewhat dated. This is at odds with the fact that it's one of the most gorgeous games on the planet. Animation is particularly beautiful, and even stock enemies have a wide range of movements and behaviour. The gun-based combat is an evolved form of Doom 3's monster closets, which is great for me since I love Doom 3. There are all sorts of weapons ranging from regular shotguns and assault rifles to a crossbow that fires arrows that turn enemies into mind-controlled walking bombs. Because why not? As well as FPS action, there's a heavy focus on vehicle combat as well. Vehicles control really tightly and are easy to handle, and combat is like a cross between Mario Kart and Twisted Metal. You can indulge yourself in some online car combat, although multiplayer is limited to 4 players on maps that are way too big. Co-op's bundled in too, featuring a range of 2-player stages with quick but tough objectives. Rage is a beautiful game to play and quite fun too, but it's also very restricted. It looks like an open world, but the world is linear and limited. It feels like an RPG, but there are no actual role-playing elements. You can build useful gadgets, but only have a limited selection with a shallow crafting system. There's even a collectible card game, a very fun one, but cards are hidden in predetermined locations and only 2 people in the whole world play it. Rage is a game that promises so much, but delivers only a fraction of it. I had a lot of fun with Rage, but it's the kind of experience that can only be equated with fast food. It looks much better on the menu, and though you enjoy it, you're hungry for more as soon as you've done. Rage doesn't deliver more. It presents a range of concepts, all of which are potentially amazing, but none of which ever reach that potential. It is clearly an introductory game, a brief tour of Rage's world so it can be set up for a franchise and, hopefully, a more extended stay.
You did a decent job, but banging up mutants ain't hard.
Is it a good game? Certainly, but it could easily have been superb, and it lacks the ambition to fulfill its capabilities.
So, Rage, that is an appropriate title. Before I go any further, let me make a disclaimer here that we did not actually get a review copy of this game, and this is not a full review on our parts. These are just things that we've noticed from playing the first few hours of the game. And you actually got to preview it a while ago.
on PC months back, a while ago. So I'm pretty much basing that on this and what I've read. So
yeah, and I played, again, the first few hours. There will be like a full review up on DestructOID.com by the time this episode comes out. So if you want details, you can go read them then. But just for the time being, let's get into some points. Things I agree with Jim Sterling on. The game looks beautiful, obviously. It is kind of reminiscent of Borderlands. There's not a whole lot of color going on, but it is clear that id put a whole lot of time into making the game look good from a distance, and I think that's really the most obvious when you're driving, because things go really fast. When you're close by, I've noticed that it can take a second for textures to render sometimes, but that really only seems to be an issue close by.
That's also, you were playing on 360.
Yes, I was playing on 360.
I didn't notice that playing on a gaming rig. And to be fair, I mean, it is a primarily PC game.
Yeah,
that's where I started.
I would recommend playing this game on PC if you get it. Speaking of driving, I thought, that was definitely one of the more fun parts of the game. And the vehicles control kind of like cars in Burnout, so everything is super fast paced, but still looks really good with the graphics going by. Everything is on such a grand scale, I also agree with Jim on it not really being a true open world game, because the majority of the areas that you go in to fight enemies or just talk to people in general are often just series of windy corridors, not unlike a lot of its previous titles, so, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, and it makes for pretty intense close quarters combat, but anybody who was expecting a true open world game might be a little bit disappointed by that. And speaking to its previous titles, a lot of the actual movement in the game felt like it was trying to take a hint from Doom or Quake, which I would have respected, but it got annoying really quickly when I realized you can't even jump over shallow objects.
Yeah.
Like I tried to jump over a short railing, nope, not gonna happen. I tried to walk over a mattress, it wouldn't even let me do that. But that's a pretty small gripe, all things considered. The weapon system, on the other hand, is actually pretty cool. It does take a while to kind of get anything worthwhile. You start off with just a shitty pistol, and you have that for at least like an hour or two into the game. And then maybe around hour 3, you get a sniper rifle, and they tell you how to use it.
Oh, there's a shotgun.
Oh yeah, there's
shotgun's a fun
you also
thing.
get a shotgun about an hour in. They also have like grenades you can throw, and you can go talk to this chick and she'll train you how to use wing sticks,
like
which sounds like TGI Fridays appetizers, but it's actually kind of a mix between Chinese throwing stars and boomerangs.
Yeah, no, I like those. Cool. And the girl, they sound like food. They are a weapon that cuts people's heads off, and the girl who gives them to you is pretty hot.
Yeah.
You can like walk around and look at her butt.
Yeah, they do a lot more damage than your guns and stuff.
They're
but
pretty cool.
The loot system is okay. Some of the enemies drop ammo, but usually only like 2 to 3 bullets, and the game, it's not like Borderlands where it knows when you're out of ammo and it'll start dropping that loot. This is like, they're just like, fuck it. If you need ammo, you're screwed out of luck. Maybe like every 2 out of 3 enemies drops ammo, but the rest drop money, and that's pretty much it. So it kind of sucks if you're like in the middle of a boss fight and you run out of ammo, but yeah, you're just fucked. Speaking of boss fights, some of them did seem unnecessarily hard, even within the first couple hours of starting the game. I actually played with Anthony Carboni, who is going to be reviewing the full game on his show, New Challenger, this Thursday. After we beat him, this random enemy came out of nowhere, shanked us, and then we died and had to go beat the boss all over again, which is really irritating. However, sometimes you do get lucky. You get access to a defibrillator, which, if charged, allows you to revive yourself by kind of playing a little like mini game with the sticks and stuff. And then when you revive yourself, it releases a shock burst to enemies within a certain radius, which is pretty cool. But it takes a while to recharge your defibrillator, and you end up dying more often than not. So
it's a cool idea, I think.
It is a cool idea. That's honestly like one of the coolest parts of the game for me, is just like a little mini game. But that brings me to my biggest gripe of all, which is the autosave feature, or should I say lack thereof. If you decide to buy this game, and who knows, you may have fun with it, be sure to save every 15 minutes. Seriously, just set an alarm if you have to, because you will die eventually, and the game will take you back to the last place that you saved, and you will have to do everything all over again. Because our game didn't even autosave until at least 2 hours into it, when we had already done maybe 5 quests so far. One of which, by the way, was pick up this thing on the counter and hand it to me. That was an entire quest.
That was a dumb quest.
That was a dumb quest. I have to say, the quest kind of mirrored Dead Island a little bit. There's a lot of fetch quests and boring stuff, at least in the beginning. That said, I really wanted to like this game, and it was just really difficult. I would start to have fun every so often, and then the game would do something awful to make me hate it every single time. I'd crash into a rock, and my car would spontaneously explode and kill me, and then I'd have to go back and redo 3 quests that I've already done. Or I'd get stuck in a walkway because somebody was blocking the entrance, and you can't get past them because you can't jump over railings and you can't jump over people. So, yeah, I have to say I hate like nitpicking, and I hate when relatively small things like that get in my way of enjoying a game, but with Rage, it was just too much for me. I was hoping to enjoy the game more, but I found my enjoyment lessening the more I played.
Well, here's my stance on this.
Okay.
I think if you approach this game expecting a modern open world game, you will be sorely disappointed. It seems like it is really trying to do something new, but they're an old school game company. They made Doom, they made Quake, they made PC games where it was mazes and shooting dudes and good graphics, and I mean, this game's been in development since before Borderlands or Fallout came out, and it has the bad luck of coming out at this point where it might not seem like the most original thing.
Yeah,
and
it definitely does not. There's not a whole lot of remarkable stuff about it, other than the fact that it looks so good visually.
But I mean, the thing is, they make old school games, and they're not as forgiving. Like the autosave thing, that wasn't a thing back in the day.
Oh,
you had to
for
save,
sure.
and you had to finish the level. And
It's definitely got that old school like hardness to it. You know?
No, it also has kick-ass weapons that are fun to shoot, and if you like shooting dudes, that's great. The open world part, you know, you get in your car and you drive to a mission, and then you'd be in this like a bandit hideout or something, and it's a very cleverly disguised level.
Yeah.
Like it's not, it's levels connected by driving segments.
Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much their definition of open world.
Yeah,
so.
I mean they're trying something new, which you can't fault them for, and it's a new franchise. It looks pretty, but I think if you go at this expecting some like mind-blowing new thing, you're going to be sorely disappointed. But if you go at it expecting a shooter, you're probably going to have a good time with it. So keep that in mind.
We can go check out Jim's full written review on Destructoid.com. That is up actually by the time this episode comes out, so go read it. You can also stay tuned for Anthony Carboni's review on Thursday, which is going to be up at revision3.com/New Challenger. And if you get a chance to play the game between now and tomorrow or Wednesday or something, let us know what you thought of it. Let us know if you played the PC version, if you thought if you had issues that maybe we didn't talk about. Let us know what you think, no matter when you play it or how you play it. If you just play pretend Rage in your backyard, tell us how you feel. We are on Twitter. We are at DTOID SHOW. And she is at Tara Longus, and I'm at Max Scoville. We're also on Facebook, as we mentioned, so go like us, go follow us, go leave a trail of flower petals into the bedroom because we love you. And come back here on Wednesday.
We'll see you guys soon.